Today we're going to go for a train ride. Stay tuned for the Durango-Silverton Railroad. Durango-Silverton Railroad is a privately run railroad. It's a tourist site. It runs from Durango up to the old town of Silverton, and you might guess that was an old mining town. The story goes Silverton actually got its name when there was a reporter sitting in a bar in whatever the town was named at the time, and he commented that there sure is a ton of silver around here. And ever since then, the town's been known as Silverton. Today, the mines are pretty much all closed and shut down, but you can still see some attractions up there. And of course, the railroad trip is just spectacular. It's an old narrow gauge railroad built with pick, shovel, and dynamite, where they had to blast parts of the mountain off just to make a way to get the train through. It carried a lot of materials up into Silverton and a lot of gold and silver and other minerals out of the Silverton area in its day. Today, it's been largely replaced by trucks and a road that goes in through that area that pretty much take everything around. But the railroad still exists and still runs and uses vintage equipment, so it's a lot of fun. We had a great time on that trip.
getting ready to roll.
Yep. There we go.
found the main that they were bringing out about 3 ounces of gold per ton. So that was an improvement for them. But a ton is 2,000 pounds. 3 ounces of gold in a ton is not very much stuff at all. And gold was worth $20 an ounce if they could get it all concentrated. So that was the challenge. And in the efforts they were using then to crush it, they were losing about 50% of their ore to the crushing process. So it wasn't very effective. In 1886, somebody located a guy named John H. Terry, and Terry came to the Sunnyside mine to build a stamping press. So just imagine the capability of crushing the ore into more fine pieces, and hopefully then salvaging some of that they were losing before. And they changed the technique. The technique was they would coat the plate under the crusher with mercury, and mercury would attract and hold the gold. And gold is what they were all after, and probably hold some of the other minerals too, but it was certainly an improvement over just having it be dry. So by the time Terry got this crushing mill installed, he had bought 7 of those 36 shares for $10,000. So he got into the mine fairly reasonably. And then he went on 1886 to 1891. He had some other people that owned those other shares, and he was constantly bickering or battling with them, depending on which situation it was. But everybody wanted their share of the money, but nobody wanted to pay the bills. And Terry was the core, the main miner of the group. He's the one that really gave his life to mining. So Terry stayed after it. And in 1892, Terry was in the mine shaft one day, and the mine shafts were quite extensive for the Sunnyside mine. But he realized they'd gone to the left side of this tunnel and hadn't really found very much in there. And just in his observations, suddenly he realized there were some core rocks over on this side that looked different than everything else that he could see right there. And why were they different? So he started pursuing that, and he found the richest ore found in Silverton. So it was gold, and it was very heavy with gold. I don't have the numbers for that, but it was good enough that Terry managed to use it and pay off all the bills for the entire mine. And by the time he got through with that ore find, he had 22 of those 36 shares. So he's now the predominant owner, and he was looking at improving that mine. 1902, that mine by itself produced $385,000 worth of ore from 15,072 tons. So that was one of the most profitable mines in the Silverton area. But 20 years later, to the extent of time, that did pretty much stop it.
Yeah.
The train does stop in Silverton, so you're given a chance to get off and walk around and, of course, spend your money. It is, after all, a tourist destination. There can be more than one train in at a time. I think 2 may be the maximum, but in any event, there were 2 trains there the day we were there, one earlier and the one we were on. The trains physically do go down to a Y and turn completely around, so they pull out heading in the forward direction for the train when they head back down to Durango. So it's a great little town. As you can tell, it's pretty much dirt streets. You'll also see cars around, so tourists can get there by car if you prefer to go that way instead of spending time on the train. But the train ride is a recommended way to get there. We hope you enjoyed tagging along on our train ride, Durango to Silverton. It was a lot of fun. There's some spectacular sights to see as the train wanders around through the mountains. It gives you an appreciation for how hard it was to lay that track with pick and shovel and dynamite when they had to blast parts of the mountain off just to get a place to run a train track through. It is a narrow gauge train, which makes it easier to go through the mountains, but it's still a heck of a lot of work to do that with the equipment they had at the time. So we hope you've enjoyed this train ride with us. We hope you enjoy the channel. If you do, give it a thumbs up if you like the video, and click on the subscribe button down below. That does help the channel out. And if you'd like to be notified when we post a new video, click on the bell icon. That way you'll get an email from YouTube when something gets posted. In the meantime, join us on the highways and byways of America as we drive around. And remember, keep her between the ditches as you drive.